Hey guys, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through how to add new blog posts to the blog from your existing blog. So the first thing I'm going to do is I got your existing site up. I'm in another tab open with the new site on our dev site. And I'm going to go ahead and log into that by going to wp-admin, hitting enter. We can give you this link straight away so you don't have to type that in. And then you'll log in. So we'll get you logins for that. Kelly and Carolyn, I think that you already have a login, and Benji does as well. And blog, if you remember from our first training session, is managed through the post menu item over here. So we'll go ahead and click on post. Right now there's just a couple in there. I think no title is from our training, so I'm going to go ahead and trash that. And we'll start fresh. And the very first post in here is ADRLN Lacrosse announces new apparel line. So I'll go ahead and see if I can copy that, and sure enough I can. So I'm going to hit add new in here and go ahead and paste that in if I can, and I'll take out by Jeff Worley. Now that is something though that we may want to take into consideration as we find new authors in here, like for instance Jeff. What I may want to do if we want to keep those guys is go ahead and create a user for Jeff, and I could do that by go ahead and say Jeff as a username. Is it one F or two? Two F's. Okay, Jeff, and then let's see if I have Jeff's email here. What's your guys's? I'm just going to assume that it's kind of the same path. Hopefully I'm right. And we'll come in here and make his username Jeff, his first name, and then change this to Jeff Worley. And then put that down here as well. And for now, I'm actually going to skip sending him a user notification for the time being, and I'm only going to make him an author at this point, just because I don't know what kind of access it's probably fine if he's an admin, but for now we'll just make him the role of author so that he can author things, but doesn't have full admin access, as an example as to what you would do for someone that maybe you wanted to, they wrote some blog posts for you, but you didn't necessarily want to give them access to the full site. So for now, we're just going to add him as a user. We can come in here and change his password or send him a notification later. So we've got him in the system now. So I'm going to go back to my posts and continue editing that. You'll probably want to decide whether you want this to be a sentence case or all caps. I'd make it consistent with whatever you do. Our headline text may end up coming all caps anyways, but in case we do want it sentence case, and that matters, let's go ahead and start us off on the right foot here. Okay, and if we can't find the author field, it might be up here in screen options. So sure enough, I'm actually going to click on excerpt 2 because we'll want that later. So author field is down here. Let's go ahead and make Jeff the author before we forget. Okay, so now we're in a pretty good spot so far. And I can come back to my post now here and go ahead and, publish date. Let's go ahead and change that before we move any further forward. February, and we'll just change this to February 4th. So it's consistent with the published date here, February 4th. And now I'm going to go ahead and click on our post. Before I go any further, featured image, I'm just going to go ahead and click on that and drag it to my desktop. And we may want to be a little bit aware of how we title our post. So I'm just going to title this blog ADRLN blog, actually 2016 0204. So that's 2016 February is 02, and then 04 is the date. That way I can kind of keep track. I don't know if that's the system you guys will want moving forward, but for now we'll go with that just to give us something, and go ahead and load that into WordPress. Now this may not be the right size, but at least we've got a featured image in there, so we can always go back and retroactively update our images to be a better size with the way that we've designed it, but at least we have an image in there for now. So I'm going to go ahead and set that regardless, and let's go ahead and categorize our post as well while we're here at the beginning. So if I scroll down to the bottom, categories are about us and apparel. So I'm going to just create those two categories. A post can be in multiple categories, so that doesn't scare me at all. So I'm going to go ahead and unclick uncategorize, but go ahead and click about us, and then also apparel was the other one. So we'll add it to those two categories. Okay, and now we are in a pretty good spot to go ahead and copy over the text. Now this won't copy over the images, you'll see that in a second, so we'll have to deal with those in a moment. But I'm just going to go ahead and highlight the whole post, just like so, all the way down to the last image, and copy that. And so when I come over to WordPress, I've got a visual tab and a text tab. For now, let's go ahead and paste that text in, the post into the text tab. And what that does is it strips out all of the formatting. So the formatting for whatever web platform you're on right now for your current website may not be exactly like the HTML formatting that we're using on our side. So better to just be safe and strip it all out. And that's what this text tab does for us. So we don't even have to think about it. So now we have to go back in here and make it a little bit cleaner. So what I may do here is add some space. I'm holding down Shift and Enter here, and that just gives me a hard return. What is new this year? If I go back over to the current post, it looks like that might be a header tag, and so what I may do here is make that a heading 2. And it copied over the whole thing. I'm going to cheat a little bit and just get us started here. So why that's doing it that way is we didn't have any of this wrapped in paragraph tags, and so it thinks the whole thing is all together. So I'm just going to start us off on a good foot there. Okay, so what is new this year? That's going to be our heading 2 tag. If I give us a not hard return there, we should be good to go ahead and if I do it this way. There we go. So lesson learned, that was the issue. I was highlighting it this way, so it thinks that everything before this we want to be highlighted in the format, but if you format forwards, heading 3, it will, we'll just do it again, lifestyle tees, forward, heading 3. It only highlights what text we've got highlighted before the next hard return. So lifestyle tees. So we remember that we need our image there, so maybe we go ahead and while we're here, go grab that image. We can just drag it to our desktop again. Maybe we say, for this we say, blog 2016-0204 underscore lifestyle tees. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and, oh, these are actually separate images, I see. So I'll go ahead and drag them both out. Blog 2016-0204 lifestyle tease 2. Okay, so now we've got unique names there, and what I may do, honestly guys, it may be easier just to combine these into one image for yourselves than putting them in here separately. But for now, I'll just go ahead and show you how you would add one, and you can make that decision later. So we'll go ahead and do that as left align, and I can choose that by coming down here and saying alignment left. We don't want this to actually link to anything, or maybe we do because it's a new apparel line. Maybe we want it to link to itself, and so that would be media file. So now someone can go ahead and click on that image and view it a little bit larger. And then the size, that looks like a good size. So we're going to go ahead and insert that into post. And we can click on it again and edit it here if we want it to be aligned left, so on and so forth. We could also have the link open up in a new tab, and we probably want that to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and check that box. Okay, so now our text is wrapping here. So if we put our cursor to the right there and we hit add media and add another image, and we choose align right, and we want it to be the media file, insert into post, and now our formatting has maybe gotten wonky. So let's go check it out. We're going to go ahead and preview. Yep, so the text has come up in the middle because we've got align left and align right. So the images are not wide enough. Oops, that worked nice. The images are not wide enough to fill up this whole width, and so the text thinks that it wants us to use the space in the middle because we have this one set to align left and this one set to align right. So there's a couple ways around it. Probably, like I said, the easiest way is just to combine these into one image. So you'll have to do that outside of WordPress. There's not a way to do that inside of WordPress. So for now, let's go ahead and remove this one and just act like that was one big image, and then we would just hit enter here if we wanted to and get our text down here. Okay, and then we would continue down that same process through the whole rest of the post. And so I highlighted youth tees as another heading 3 style, and then we can go ahead and drag these out. And again, I'd probably recommend maybe making these into one image. Just how you've got it here, it will be the easiest way to format it in WordPress. Also, if you noticed, the images might be able to be a bit larger if you wanted. However, that would also probably change the height, and so maybe you do want to keep them this size, I'm not sure. But at least you've got decisions to make now. So let's go back to our post, and we can continue to, as we add images, so on and so forth down the post, and add text. We'll go ahead and again give that a hard return so we can format this to be heading 3. Oops, not a hard return. Hard returns, when you hold down shift and hit enter, that will make the heading still show up because it's all within the same, what WordPress would call a tag still. So let's go ahead and do a real enter without holding down shift and highlight this. And now it's all clean and good. All right, so one thing that I'll notice before I check out here is that this heading 3 is all caps when the others are sentence case. So I'm going to go ahead and make this sentence case for us just to make it consistent. Consistency is something that you'll kind of want to keep an eye to. The other thing that I noticed here is that some of our titles have a colon after and some don't. I'm just going to go ahead and make that colon disappear for now because you probably want it to either be a title or have the colon, and so we'll just go ahead and make it a title, and the colon probably becomes denecessitated there, and you can move forward consistently. So in the same way that I've started this post, you could go through the rest of the post and format it that way. Again, probably the easiest thing to do with these images is just to make them, if you want them to be side by side like that, make them into one image and import it that way. It'll make your life a little bit easier and also have the added benefit of probably making there less files to manage inside the media library. So that's something that I'd probably recommend with this post and other posts like it. Another thing that you can do that I haven't shown you is tag a post. So tags are kind of like categories, just not as used so much for structuring the posts into buckets, but more for, like, for instance, Kyle Harrison, Peter Baum, and Joel Walters. If you wanted to tag your different athletes in the post that they show up in, you could do that. So, if you wanted Peter Baum to be tagged in this post because he's mentioned, that's something that you might do. They're a little bit more specific than categories, so that's how we would use tags. I'll leave that decision up to you. So that's how to start adding a new post. Let me know if you guys have any questions once you dive into this video, and I can clarify or help you out. But for now, I'll go ahead and publish that, and this hopefully is enough to get you guys started.